Good morning. Good morning and welcome. I was a couple of minutes late on, and I know it takes a couple of minutes for you to realise that I'm streaming live. So I will idle chatter. No. Today is Q&A Wednesday, and the subject of today is about it never being too late for you to start. So this morning, as usual, I got up bright and early, and I've been reflecting on quite a few things. Anyway, so the first thing to say is that I get up early. I'm doing things like writing blog posts, preparing courses, both online and live workshops. And I'm also looking at honing down the book that I've been looking at since around April time, thanks to the lovely Leslie Karen Hammond. So the first thing I want to say is I want to welcome you. If this is your first Q&A live in the Visibility Vibes tribe, I want to say welcome. If it's your first week here and you're wondering what on earth this Visibility Vibe stuff's all about, do have a look at the introduction. Do introduce yourselves. Whether you have a business or not, this is about people that have got a really good vibe to them, and we all really love being surrounded by people that have got a good vibe. So that's partly the reason that I brought this community together. And the other reason is that some of us want to be seen and feel seen, want to be heard and feel heard, and want to be able to start talking about what we're doing in our lives, or, as I often hear, the thing that I would really like to do. So how did this come about? Now, believe it or not, I do actually think about what I'm going to say in the Facebook Live before it goes live. And I've been scheduling them only a couple of weeks in advance, because what I'm finding is that sometimes in my own life, things come up for me. They could be learnings, they could be slaps around the face, they could be really exciting things, and I tend to learn from them. And interestingly, I have discussions with clients, I have discussion with friends, and they'll say the same thing, that they found it really useful. So what better thing to do than to share with the tribe, who I affectionately call you lot vibers. We're not a cult or anything like that, just a group of people that want to make the Facebook space a better place. So today I wanted to talk about it's never too late to start, and I can see that Ali's on already, so hi. I'm cheating today. If I keep going like this and looking a bit strange, I've actually got my laptop open in the background, because I've posted this around to let people know about this group and this Q&A live, and I've done it on a couple of different places. So my personal profile, so that my friends and family know what on earth I'm talking about. I've got two pages. So one Facebook page is the Queen of Being Seen, which is facebook.com/visibility vibe without the S. I couldn't get vibes. And the other page is the speaker, trainer, coach page, Jenny Make It Happen. So it's facebook.com/Jenny Make It Happen. And that's where I do something similar, in that I do a Facebook Live every Monday at 7 a.m. And this is designed to motivate your day, your week, and even your month. So if you're already joined up there and you get any value from anything that I share, if you could think of just one other person or someone else that you know would get the same kind of value, then please introduce them, share the pages with them, share this group with them. I'd love to have them come on board. So, yes, I have been looking at it's never too late. So let me give you some context about this, because there's a few things that happened. So the first thing was that today's the 7th of September. So many of you have been busy getting the kids back to school. Grandparents have been posting lovely pictures as well about the grandchildren going back to school. And we've all been very kind of busy living our lives. Some of you have come back from holidays and you've taken a bit of time out, which is great. And now you're like, okay, I need to get started. And it's interesting, because I had a conversation with a really lovely woman yesterday, who I'm going to start doing some work with. And also I spoke to the lovely Wendy yesterday morning, as well as kind of throughout the week. I have these really juicy conversations with people, and sometimes I almost wish that I could record the conversations. I'm not about to do that, by the way. But one of the themes that seems to be running through these conversations are around us telling ourselves that it's too late for something. So I wrote down a few examples of the things that, like the most common things that we tell ourselves that it's too late. And I also thought, well, it would be useful to give you some kind of things that I've done as well, and ways to get around that it's too late to do it feeling. So 3 of the main ways in which we tell ourselves it's too late. Can you see this little piece of paper, how tiny it is? Those are my notes for the Facebook Live. I tend not to write copious amounts of notes, otherwise I look down all the time, disconnect and lose myself. So 3 ways in which we tell ourselves it's too late. We tell ourselves, oh, it's too late in the day to do something. We tell ourselves, so that's a timepiece, we don't have time. The second way we tell ourselves it's too late, oh, it's too late in life to do something, normally connected with our age. And to me that's ridiculous, because I've heard people say it in their 20s, I've heard people say it in their 60s, I've heard people say it in their 80s. It's never too late. And then the third way we tell ourselves that it's too late is in the month, which I've been hearing a lot about this month. You know, when people say, oh, I'll start it next month, or I'll start tomorrow, that's another way in which we make ourselves do something too late. So I thought it'd be really useful to talk about what we can do about it, and some of the things that I've done, and I'll even share things that have worked, maybe things that haven't worked. But let me give you some context. When I was having one of my conversations yesterday, I was talking about somebody who really inspires me. And I know Helen Bullen, who's also part of this group, is inspired by this lady too. And that's a woman called Shah Wasman. Now, Shah Wasman, I first came across Shah's work on a more personal basis when I attended an event in London in 2013, I think it was. And I was really blown away by not necessarily what she said, although what she says is great, but I was also blown away by the way in which she says things. The way in which she says things and the place that it comes from. And I think that I resonated with that, because on some level, that is what, to me, the vibe is about. Visibility is about the being seen, being heard, getting visible, standing out, getting your stuff out there, your products, your services, getting the promotion, being recognised for what you do, raising your profile and all those great things. The vibe is what's inside, how you do it, how you feel when you're doing it, and the place that you come from. So I hope I've made that distinction. Ali, if I've made the distinction, say yes you have, or it's as confusing and as clear as mud. So yeah, let me know. So one of the things that I really resonated with her is the place in which she comes from. And, you know, I've had such a fortunate experience over the years in my own personal development journey. You know, I've had mentors, coaches, I've paid for mentors and coaches along the way, because I really see the value of it, and that's my thing. I love to learn, and thank you, Ali says it's very clear, thanks. I love to learn, and one of the things that I also recognise, I guess, is that I have seen people that have been brilliant at what they do, have been out there showing the world it might be a certain lifestyle, a way of being, a way of life, and then when you peek behind the curtains, it's everything else. But, you know, this is the reason why I show up and do videos, Facebook Lives, without having had my hair done first. Fine if that's what you want to do, but I want to show you that as well as having the nice kind of studio ready videos, that you can sit and broadcast from your home or from your home office, from your bedroom, from your kitchen, from your garden, and you can still share your worth with the world. So Shah Wasman for me is somebody that does that, and I'm going to share her Facebook Live that she does at 6 a.m. every Wednesday. So if you think my 7 a.m. is really like madly early, then I know that Ali, who's also on this call, was up for that, and she was up on Shah's call. I know that Helen was also up and then went on to do her own at 6:45. So if you've never seen Helen's, I'll post the link. I'll need to make a note to self to post the links underneath. So I'd really love you to connect with these people, because I think it helps when we think that we have done something too late or we've started too late. And the reason that I share these aren't because I'm saying go and look at this person, like you have to be like me, you have to be like Shah, you have to be like Helen, or you have to be like Ali. I'm saying that just, you know, wherever you are, start from where you are. Start from where you are. If you're beginning your journey, start from there. If you're reigniting your journey, start from there. If you've been doing it for ages, carry on from there. If you're seen as an expert in a certain field or area or in what you do, continue from there. But always serve to have a good, like, come from a good vibe. That's the thing. People don't see it, they smell it. And if the vibe's bad, they smell it. So ways in which we make ourselves too late. And the reason that I describe what Shah does is, you know, Shah is I think 3 times best-selling author. She has been awarded an MBE by the Queen. She runs her own events and helps people through something she calls a freedom formula. So, and this is a way to help you put a higher percentage of your business online and to get out there in the world in a better way. You know, she's a speaker, she's been a keynote speaker and still is a keynote speaker. And very recently on her staycation to America, she spoke on the same stages as people like Tim Ferriss, famous for the 4-hour working week. And one of the things that she said very recently really resonated with me, in that start from where you are, serve where you are, resonates with the message that I share in the Visibility Vibes group. So I listened into a Facebook Live that she did in one of her own groups. And if you're not already part of the Freedom Collective, search in Facebook for the Freedom Collective, which is an open group. It's got over 3,000 people in it, so it's quite big, where you'll find lots of other people like you, lots of resonance with people to share. And one of the things that she shared in that group, and she's got a couple of others as well, was an interview that she did with a lady in America that she sat next to in an event. And I had to make notes. I thought what they were both saying in this like 20-minute share was so golden. I thought, well, I can't keep this stuff to myself. So let me just share one thing that resonated. Because as they were talking about some of the successes that they'd had, some of the things that they'd done, I always make 2 types of notes. Rather than writing down what people say, I'd rather just tweet that or put that out on social media. I write down an action point. So if somebody's mentioned something that's really great, I write down what action I'm going to take personally, because it's my responsibility, what action I'm going to take in order to do a thing, you know, make a thing happen if you like, or do a thing in my own life. I find that's the best way to consume, you know, webinars, Facebook Lives, videos, books, conferences, seminars, and then, you know, articles and things like that. And the next thing that I do is, so I made my notes, just bullet point notes of things that I wanted to remember. And then I put a list of questions that I want to ask myself. And questions I want to ask myself are often things like, so let me give you an example. So they were talking about how they built a business, and both of them have been in business for at least over 18 months, so not, you know, huge amounts of time. And the lady that was being interviewed, Melissa, she was saying that she started off from nothing, and in the first year went to $108,000. And then the second year went from $108,000 to $600,000 in a year, and then $600,000 to $1.6 million in 3 years. Now, that inspires me, because regardless of what anybody says, the reason that we're running a business is to be able to create our own income and to make money. So I get that there are other reasons other than money to run a business. I completely get that. But I think we lull ourselves into a false sense of security if we start a business and don't treat it right. And the way we don't treat it right is that we treat it like something that's nice to do, nice to have, and we don't take it seriously. And I remember Lisa Pascoe, who often pops on these as well, sharing something around money, that like, if money could write a story about how you treated it, you know, what would it say? And I would say, if your business could write a story about how you treat it, what would it say? breathe that in, because that's quite make your belly shake, you know. If your business had to write about you and what you do and how you treated it, what would it say? Would it say you treated it well? Would it say you treated it like the next best thing? You know, would it say you treated it badly? Would it say that she doesn't listen to me, or he doesn't listen to me, they don't take me seriously? And if you don't have a business yet and it's something you're aspiring to do, think about it kind of in the future. So one of the nuggets that Melissa and Shah shared was around choosing to invest in people as carefully as you would choose to invest your money. And when I was having one of my conversations yesterday, we were talking about this share, and I said, that's such a deep share, that has such a deep resonance. I can see how that would be in the future. I could see the difference in my behaviour, what I need to do differently to continue. And the question that I asked myself was, went something like this, you know, when a client works with me, when we agree to work together, I invoice them. What I don't do is I don't invoice myself when, you know, when I spend time. So for example, doing this Facebook Live, if I was to invoice myself from this moment onwards, £1 for every hour, for every minute or every hour that I did something, me spending half an hour with you guys doing this Facebook Live, if I was invoicing myself £30, it's worth every single penny. And if I did that by the minute, I feel would be worth every single penny, to spend time with you, to find out what's going on in your lives, how I can help, how I can assist, how you can help each other, how I can connect you all, is worth every single penny. And I believe will pay not me back, but you guys back like tenfold. The connections and the collaborations that are within this group alone, even though we're just under the 300 mark, is like golden. So I decided when I had this conversation yesterday that I was going to start invoicing myself for the time I spend, which also means, you know, those people that, God bless them, they mean well, but they really drain your energy, kind of suck your blood and all of that kind of stuff. For those people, I really felt like it doesn't do me so much good to spend a lot of time with them, because in a time when I'm trying to get stuff done and I'm hearing the reasons why it won't work, why I shouldn't do it, why I can't do it, why someone else tried it and it failed, it just makes it harder. And it means that I've just spent a 60-minute phone call or gone out for like 2-3 hours, and I then need to invoice myself for that time that has then kind of like almost sucked my energy. And I don't mean that in a judgmental way to the other person. I'm back. So yes, I just want to make sure, yeah, I am back. So this was another important thing, but I guess the two things from this piece, and I'm going to crack on with like these tips about starting too late, are around, if your business could write or tell a story about how you treat it, what would your business say? And if you were to invoice yourself for all the time that you spend doing anything, whether it's creating content, whether it's marketing your business, whether it's being on social media, whether it's connecting in good conversations, what would it say? What would it say? So there was a lady that joined the group last week, and she asked me a question, and I asked her if it was okay for me to answer it in the group. So I do want to make sure that I have her permission to do it. So I'm just looking out to see whether she said yes or no. So yeah, I'll answer it, and I'll answer what I can. Okay. So Ali said, love this idea of invoicing yourself for time. It may well help us appreciate ourselves, as well as a great check on the time that we're spending on things as well. Absolutely, Ali. Absolutely. And the question about helping you look at your business with a different perspective. Absolutely. Asking your business to report on how you've been treating it is fundamental. So now I'm trying to multitask, because I do want to let this lady know. I'm just going to stand up. You're going to get a close-up of me. Now, I shouldn't do that. That's not a good look, is it? So I had to do that because I just want to make sure that this lady is here. So I'm just letting her know we're live. Now, hop on. So I can see that Sophie's joined as well. So I want to say hi to Sophie. So why am I talking about it's never too late? And I was about to throw my iPad on the floor. Not a very good idea. Don't throw your iPad anywhere. I'll put it down. So it's never too late to start something. And why do I say that? And what do I mean by that? Well, if it's never too late, so let's take the time of day first of all. It's September. Yes, it's the 7th of September. Don't worry about what you've been doing. Hi, Sophie, she says. Hello. It's never too late to worry about the time of day. Now, I know that I've been harping on about this 5 a.m. thing. Got me really excited, means for me that I can do a lot more things, but my circumstances are different to your circumstances. You could be getting up and getting ready to go to work, you could be looking after kids, you could be looking after a member of the family, you could have other commitments, you might tell yourself you're not a morning person, which is what I did, which actually blocked my opportunities. I've never been a morning person. I would normally only see 5 a.m. when I was coming in from a club in my teenage years, or I was coming in from a party or something, trust me. So that was the first thing that I decided to do. But if you're the sort of person that needs more sleep, or you start better off in the day and later into the night, don't make yourself wrong. Don't say, oh, well, it's too late now. You know, Jenny started at 5 and now it's 11 o'clock and that's that. Just start. I know that sounds like the most stupid piece of advice. Just start. If it's too late in the day, just start. And start as early as you can. If you're used to starting work at midday and you think you could squeeze in starting an hour earlier or 30 minutes earlier, then do that. If you are a night person and you work well at night, that's not just a person that stays up late. And I know that, again, that's kind of like my common pattern, to be able to stay up late. It's amazing what getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning does for that. It helps me to switch off, it helps me not to overwork, it helps me to go to bed earlier, get more sleep, which has been fundamental. So start when you can, and if you can squeeze an extra 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes into your day, either at the beginning or the end, or, you know, your lunch break, maybe you're working, you get an hour's lunch break, let the company pay you for the lunch break, and then go and take yourself off somewhere for like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and do what you need to do. And in fact, that's what I did once I knew, and I handed my notice in on my last job in 2010. I knew, because I had to work 3 months notice, I knew that I wanted to start my own business. Although I kept that to myself in terms of my work environment, I would then allocate myself like 20 minutes of my lunch break. And up until that point, I wasn't really taking lunch breaks, I was working through. So give yourself the time and make it, you know, make it something you can do. Now, something that runs through the whole of the, oh gosh, I've left it too late thing, is that we often feel like if we make a plan is too big. And I do believe in plans. I'm a bit of a blue sky thinker, so for this to be coming out of my mouth is true. But anyone that's worked with me on visibility, on videos, on mindset, anything else like that, it's good to have a plan. And they say make your plans in stone, make your goals in stone and your plans in sand, which means how you get there can change, and that's fine. But do have a plan. Most people will plan too big. So I'm going to invite you to think of something that you want to get done, not some things, one thing that you want to get done. And because I'm going to be going away, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment, but because I'm going to be going away and coming back late on Monday night, you've got until, well, actually, no, not until Tuesday. Let's give you a week, until this time next Wednesday, 10 a.m. next Wednesday, to be able to get that thing done. It might be a thing that's been on your list for a long time, thing that you keep thinking about. Even if you can spend 10 minutes a day just chipping away at that thing every day between now and next week, you'll notice how much of it you'll get done. and you'll notice that by this time next week, even if you haven't finished it, you've made a dent. So it doesn't matter what time of day it is, just start and allocate some of that time to the day. Break it down rather than going, oh, I've got this big to-do list with 11 things. Well, you know, I'll be able to do 2 things a day and in a week it'll be done and everything else. Break it down. Now, the second thing is this, oh, I'm too old thing. I want to swear, but I won't. I'll say baloney instead. If you think you're too old to start a thing, baloney. Here are 2 very well-known people. One might be more well-known than others, who are very famous for starting something later in life. Now, you know, excuses if you don't eat KFC. But here's the thing. Okay, I just got a message from my lady. Okay, so KFC. Colonel Sanders was 60 years old when he decided that he wanted to share his secret chicken recipe. He wanted to share it. And do you know, he knocked on literally thousands of doors and people sent him away, didn't take his idea seriously. But he kept knocking and kept knocking until one day somebody accepted this special chicken recipe, and look what's happened now. Now, whether you eat KFC or not is a whole nother ballpark. But what I'm saying is, he was 60 when he decided to do that. He was older than most people that I hear kind of complaining about being too old for something. And the people that I hear complaining the most are normally between their 30s and their 50s. That's like not acceptable. The other person that I really respect and admire is a lady called Louise Hay. So some of you may be familiar with her work. Louise Hay wanted to write books on personal development that took personal development to another level. So Louise Hay decided to start her own publishing house, again when she was 60, and I think Louise Hay is coming up to 80 years old. So Hay House Publishing, Hay House Radio, Hay House Products, Hay House Events, I Can Do It, have been going for a few decades. She didn't say, oh, well, you know, I'm too old to do this now, so all that experience that I've had through life, all of those hard knocks that I could share with other people, I just leave them where they are. So if you think that you are too old to start, think again. Even if you spent, you know, one more day, one more week, even if you knew that you would pass next week, do what you can between now and then. Leave a legacy for the world. And I know that sounds like a morbid thing to say, but it's so important. Wayne Dyer always used to say, don't die with your music still in you. And to me, that has a resonance. Whatever you can put out there in the world, put it out there. Don't let it have to be perfect. Just put it out there where it is. I always say for whatever you put out in the world, you can always go back, change it, improve it, upgrade it later on. So put it out now as good enough. And then the third thing that I want to say is, like, if you think, oh, well, it's too late in the month, I'll have to start again next month. It's the 7th of September. Whether it's the 7th or the 27th, just start today. And again, just take one thing that you know and feel that you could do really easily and just do it today. So in June, and it was, I think it was just before my birthday, my birthday is the 26th of June. So around kind of the 20th of June, I was looking at my Instagram followers and seeing that they were quite, you know, I think I had about 200 Instagram followers, and I really wanted to grow this area because I love posting some of those graphics. I think a picture tells a story, a short video tells a story, and I really wanted to grow that audience and let them know about this group as well, and vice versa. So I made the decision that that's what I wanted to do. But in the meantime, I had a lovely conversation with Ola, and I mentioned this last week. And I was asking Ola how she, you know, managed to grow her followers on Twitter to she's now like 18,000, nearly 19,000 followers. And she shared with me a couple of tips of things that she does. And it is all based around connections, strong connections. So I decided to implement that manually, so without kind of using systems and all of that kind of thing. I decided to implement that manually, and I also decided to adopt some of those same connection strategies with an Instagram. And yesterday I went over the 1,000 mark. I was really gobsmacked. Now, you might say, oh, that seems like a long period of time. That's a couple of months. But the people who are liking my stuff, commenting, are really juicy, lovely people. People I'm getting messages from are really great. I've already had a few inquiries from people asking how they can work with me. And I want to make sure that as well as me working with them, it's right for them as well as it being right for me, if that makes sense. So, you know, don't worry too much about, oh, well, I need a plan for the month. Just start today. Just make a plan for how you're going to show up today. One thing that you can do, is it a video? Is it a post? Is it sharing a blog? It can be something you've written like a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. So have a look at what you can do by next week to start sharing the message about what you do. And if you're not sure about you know, voicing that or talking about that, then by all means, you know, please go to my website or even go to one of my Facebook pages and book in a Get Connected with Me call. It's a free call where we talk about where you're stuck, what's not working, what is working, and look at kind of how we can move forward. Sometimes the answer to that is with working with me, and other times the answer to that is actually I'll, you know, refer you to a resource. You don't always need to do that. The thing that I hear the most is people say things like, oh, I'm just gonna do some stuff on my website. Once I get that stuff done on my website, then I'll do A, B, and C. Well, actually, in terms of visibility, knowing who you want to show up to, how you want to show up, I think it's the very first thing you should do before going deep into branding, big packages, websites, and all that kind of stuff, because you have an inner clarity, an inner knowing, and a great inner vibe as to how you want to show up in the world. So I'm really passionate about that. Now, I'm going to be away from tomorrow and back very late on Monday night, so kind of back at work on Tuesday. And as you will also know, on Fridays, normally at 11 o'clock, I do a Facebook Live. And I wanted to honour the lovely gentleman who is taking me away and not keep kind of jumping out of our holiday and going onto Facebook. But I want to make sure that you're looked after. So, fingers crossed, I've got somebody who is going to be coming in and doing the Facebook Live. I'm just waiting for some confirmation of that. But what I'll do is I'll let you know who that is and what time that is. It might be at 11, but if their schedule doesn't allow, then I'll let you know what time that'll be instead. And if in the event that we both can't make it happen and they can't do the Facebook Live, then I will record something, probably from the airport lounge, but I'll record something that will give you some juice on Friday. So if you've got any questions, please put them in the box below. The lady that wanted to ask her question, it looks as if, has she responded? Yes, she's responded. She's got a deadline, so she's got to keep to it, or her release date will be delayed. Okay, so what I'll do is actually I'll take it up with her and I'll answer her question another time. One of the things that I did last year when I was looking for the man of my dreams, was that I set up something called London Single Dating Dinners, and there are about to be some quite big changes to that. There's over 850, nearly 900 people in that group, and because I'm no longer single, I haven't arranged any dinners for a while, and there are some ideas that I've got about that group, and I want to have like proper conversations with people. If I'm about to hand over, you know, these lovely, because I've had dinners with a lot of them, if I'm about to hand over these people, I want to make sure I hand them over in good hands. So I'll talk about that on perhaps another Facebook Live, or do a special video or something next week. So the lady that needs to get on with her website, I'll let her get on with her website. I won't distract her, and I'll wait for her question for another time when she can jump on. So if you've got any questions about anything that you want in your life in terms of visibility or the mindset behind the visibility or being seen or heard, please pop them in the box. And I just want to finish by saying that, you know, it's September. Regardless of the plans that you've got, you can still share something, whether it's over a day, over a week, or over the rest of the month. So do watch out for a post that I'm going to put up in the group, which is going to talk a little bit about this. And then the other thing that I really want to say, let me just make sure that I'm back in the group and I can see. I want to make sure there's no comments that I've missed. The other thing that I do want to say is a big thank you to Wendy for that post that you put in earlier. So I'd been watching, I've been watching that little video that was shared by somebody in another group when I said I was feeling emotional. So look down the timeline if you haven't seen it. It's so beautiful, such a gorgeous message, and I was kind of like tearful at that. And then Wendy posted the thank you for yesterday, and I'd like to say that I use all of this kind of as social proof and I get it out there and let people know how brilliant I am, but I don't. I'm a wuss. I just cry because it really touches me that I can make a difference to someone's life. You know, I received an email last week after the mindset makeover from somebody who I hadn't really heard a lot from in the group, and I always wonder if people are okay. And then I got this really gorgeous email, and I can't even talk about it without crying, saying how some of the things that they learned had changed their life, how they were going to do things differently, how they were always going to remember it, and the people in the group. That's not even about me, that's about you guys that were in the group as well, and the difference that you made to that person's life. So at the risk of blubbing like a baby, it really touches me deeply that a difference can be made to your life, and that I can make that difference to your life. But I know that I'm not the only person in this group that can do that. So you guys can make such a big difference in people's lives. Don't think, oh, it's too late. Don't wait. If you're really stuck, please ask for my help. I know that sometimes people will ask for my help, like private message me and things like that. And I can't always keep up with those. So that's why I tend to direct the questions back here. But please go out and make a difference to someone else's life today. Because I know that you're all capable of doing it. And I really look forward to you guys getting to know each other even more. One other favour is there's a pinned post in the group. If you can have a look at that, even if you've introduced yourself before, use the format that I give you because it makes it easy. But go in and introduce yourself so that other people within this group know who else is in here. There are people joining like on a daily basis all the time, and it's really great for them to know more about what you do. And Wendy's just put a message in there, love you. Thank you, Wendy. So yeah, just share with each other, because this is a community, not building a community for me, building a bigger community for you guys. You guys, you know, there's health and well-being people in here, there's coaches in here, there's business coaches, there are authors in here, there are speakers in here, there are people that are figuring out what they want to do next in here, there are people that have been through some really like big life circumstances and life changes who are in here and smiling. So to all of you that are watching, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and look out for news of what's going to happen on Friday. I hope this person can help, but if not, then I'll do something else. So thank you so much for joining me, and sorry that I cried, but it really touches me deeply. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you soon. Go out, be visible, and let me know how you're getting on. Bye for now.